What is going on, basketball lovers and hoop heads? Welcome back to Checkup. I'm your host, Bryce, as always, here to talk hoops with y'all. I'm so happy to be here. We're about a month into the NBA season here, so we've learned some things. We're starting to become accustomed to some new things, some new realities here in the NBA, and let's run through a couple of those. Why don't we? First off, we know that Nico Harrison is a dumbass, and I'm so sorry for Mavericks fans. I think right now we're learning that, as we kind of predicted in the offseason, it is OKC and Denver, and then it is everybody else. And we are also learning who the goddamn hell Jalen Duren is. 3, 2, 1. If you are somehow not familiar with the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, the Detroit Pistons, and their star center, who has not exploded out of nowhere, I will say, but has certainly launched himself into NBA All-Star territory this season. If you are not familiar with that team, well, you better get familiar, and this video is a perfect way to do that. I remember Jalen Duren, the NBA prospect, right, coming out of the draft. He was this young, springy 18-year-old out of Memphis. He was a one-and-done. Already back then, he was absolutely ginormous. He's only like 6'9.5", 6'10", weighed like 250, 260 coming out of college, somewhere in there. But this dude is jacked to the brim. He's super springy as well, vertical, fluid, strong. And so we knew one day he'd be a problem. And it would appear as though starting now in his fourth season, this man has become a full-fledged problem. We're going to dig into some tape in this video. We're going to talk about most aspects of his game. We'll talk about some stats. We'll do all of that. But let me just say right up front, this dude is the reincarnation of Dwight Howard. So, if you're not familiar with Jalen Duren's game, he is primarily a Cade's number one pick-and-roll partner. I will say that duo is probably number one in the league for me as far as like just watchability and how much fun I have with it. They are just absolute monsters. Cade is getting so much better this season about being smart and being timely with his passes, and I like the way the Pistons use some of their shooters to create space on the lane. Jalen Duren is also just like right there. He dunks straight on Noah Clowney's forehead. He is an upward vertical threat. He is strong as hell. He'll do like football swing moves to get around people. He's just like an absolute monster, and he's fluid. He can handle the basketball in small spaces and in transition. He does it from time to time. He has a little bit of like a short mid-range game. His touch around the basket is excellent. He is just such a dominant basketball player, and kind of like a star big that we don't really see anymore. You know, we when we think of star bigs, we think of the Jokic's, the Wembys of the world, but not the Jalen Durens of the world. And maybe we should. Maybe we're in a renaissance. Who knows? The Houston Rockets are like the best offense in the NBA. Yeah, just to spit some game at you real quick. According to databaller.com, Jalen Duren is averaging like 26 points per game per 75 possessions with 15 rebounds. What an absurd number. And also has a stellar true shooting percentage for a guy who takes a lot of layups and again, short mid-range shots. He should, but has a true shooting percentage of 72%. So phenomenal there. I don't want to waste too much time jabbering on. Plenty of time to jabber throughout this video. Let's go ahead and dig into some tape, specifically two games. One against the Mavericks and one against the Pacers recently. One game was with Cade, one game was without. It'll kind of highlight Jalen's all-around game, I think, and then we'll talk about his passing. We'll talk about a little defense. We'll get into all of that. We're going to start with this Mavericks game here. This game happened pretty early on in the season, and Duren finished this game with an absolutely absurd stat line. Duren finished this game with 33 points and 10 rebounds on 13 of 16 shooting. And for a team like the Mavericks that we think of as being like one of these jumbo teams, this dude made them look tiny. We're going to start with this little fun play here, and this was kind of thing they just spammed all game, and just Duren just ate and ate and ate all game long. So we have here, I believe this is going to get, this is tipped back out, so steps up to prevent Cooper from getting all the way to the rim, so Cooper makes a nice pass over here to Daniel Gafford, so Jalen Duren has to recover. He gets a nice clean strip on him, and then just look at him. Just running the floor. Boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bam. So nice defense there. Steps up on Coop to prevent the drive to the rim, and then has the nice strip on his man to prevent the easy layup, and then gets an alley-oop on the other end. And although this vid isn't about Cade, I do just want to preach his patience and how much better I think he's been in the pick and roll. Cade was pretty turnover prone his first couple years in the league, and although the turnovers are still higher than I would like them to be, he's been much more under control this year, and he plays with a lot of patience and poise. So let's see this here. So Cade's bringing the ball up the court. He's going to pass over here to Asar Thompson to kind of initiate this, and Duren's going to set a little screen here. Cade is going to flare off of this screen to create space, right? Not just get the ball back. So Cooper comes over the screen, meaning this Mavs big is going to have to step up to kind of contain the pull-up. Otherwise, Cade's just going to have a clear drive to the rim, right? Duncan Robinson is filtering from the wing out to the corner to add some space. And so what does this do? My man Jalen Duren just ain't nobody putting a single damn body on him. Cade notices it. This Mavs big, Klay Thompson is not preventing this event from happening, and this Mavs big is not getting over with the help in enough time, and we get a beautiful lob slam. Again, they spam this play, not that play, but, the pick and roll lob slam with Duren all game long, and not a single Mavericks player seemed to know what to do with it. So basketball a lot of times is about making a simple play, right? So here we have, coming out of transition, the Pistons have a mismatch. They have D'Angelo Russell and Tobias Harris here. So Cade's going to throw the ball down to Tobias Harris. Now, I'm not really sure why PJ shows help here too. D'Lo should be able to hold up himself a little bit, right? I don't know. Maybe, probably not. But, so the Mavs are going to send two here to prevent this. So that means, I believe this is Dwight Powell, needs to rotate up to Cade to prevent Cade from having a wide open three. Now, Duren notices that Dwight just had his back turned to him immediately. So he's already moving before Tobias even throws this pass. He is already planning to cut straight into the middle of the lane. Now, so what happens, because not a single person tags him in the slightest, Max Christie doesn't do anything. D'Lo is just watching this happen. Nobody rotates over, nobody touches him, and we're going to have a wide open dunk under the rim. Simple, easy cut that any player can make, but he saw that happen. He kind of saw that lane open just before it happened, and he started moving preemptively, and it worked out for him. Got an easy bucket. Now, the Pistons like to do this thing where they take a shooter from the opposite wing, they filter him out to the corner on this the side that Duren is rolling to help provide him some space. So that's exactly what we're doing here, bringing this guy off the wing into the corner to provide some spacing. And again, sets a really nice screen that gets the Mavericks defender caught and gives. Now Cade is seeing two. Nobody is switching over here to Duren. Nobody is tagging Duren. So we have the shooter still coming out to the corner. D'Lo is thinking okay, I know where my guy's going, but now I got my eyes on the ball too, just watching what happens. And nobody is tagging Jalen Duren at all. So what is he going to do? Just slip right to the rim for another easy lob. So excellent screen setter. Again, just strong as hell, catches people off guard, and then just knows how to, he's not sprinting straight at the rim. He's not lazily moving towards the rim. He just very methodically is moving and then explodes when he needs to. So we got Jalen kind of hanging out over here in the opposite low post, kind of opposite dunker spot thing. He's filling out some space for Tobias Harris. So Tobias brings this ball out. Duren comes over here, gets nice low post position on Daniel Gafford here. And again, he's just fast, very fluid, nice spin move, easy bucket. He's not just this lob threat, right? He's not just a layups and whatnot guy. He can make his own shot. He can go and get it when he needs to. So long as he has nice position on them, but very fluid, very quick for a guy his size. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but one thing that I don't love about the Pistons right now is that two of their most talented players, Asar Thompson and Jalen Duren, kind of like to be in the same spaces on the court, and it doesn't really fit because the Pistons don't have a ton of spacing to put around those guys, at least a ton of great spacing. So two of their best players like to be in the same position, and sometimes that can get muddied up. That can really muck up their offense, as you see right here. Asar and Duren are kind of hanging out on the weak side of the court here, kind of below the three-point line, really kind of muddying up. If Cade were to try to drive this right now, there's too many defenders here. There's too much going on for him to really get like clean looks right now. You know what I mean? But some nice patience from Duren here. Makes the cut when he sees Gafford tag Asar Thompson, which is really nice. And then has a really, really nice touch here to finish that layup. Again, I like this. He's just plotting. He's just thinking, look, he sees Gafford, like Tobias Harris looks at Asar Thompson, Daniel Gafford tags him, and Duren's like, okay, now's the time to cut. Easy layup. It's great. He's really smart. He's a really smart player. I just wish there was a little more space on the court, because if there was, boy howdy, it might be even scarier. Here's another little nice screen and roll with high screen and roll with Cade and Duren here. Kind of slips the screen a little bit. Doesn't really set a hard pick there. And then just nicely paced out. Cade probably throws this one a little late. I think like Duren probably should have dove a little harder towards the rim. But again, here too, like Asar's hanging out in the dunker spot, kind of muddying up their spacing. Too many bodies here in the paint for me. But like, I think he should have went a little sooner, but sometimes it just doesn't matter. You know, he's throwing this ball up. He's got a guy on him, and he just shreds him off. Flush. Automatic flush. He just is such an impressive physical player, especially with the age that he's at. Look at him disrupting that play right there. And then offensive putback. He rules, man. And again, this is against a Mavericks team that's like supposed to be pretty big, right? Like they're supposed to be a strong defensive team. That was the whole thing. But Jalen Duren is just tearing them up all game long. This is just a beautiful little bounce pass from Cade here. Love that. Duren takes it right to the rack. Just love to see a nice, just solid play from time to time, right? So I did say the other game that I wanted to talk about was Jalen Duren against the Indiana Pacers from this past week. This game is without Cade Cunningham. The Pistons would go on to win this game. This would be their 10th straight win, and Jalen Duren had 31 points, 15 rebounds on 13 shots. Absolutely absurd there from him. And as we're going to see in this video, like this is without Cade. So this is not just like easy pick and roll lob slams, right? He shows a little bit more footwork, a little bit more pizzazz, some like pull-ups, some initiating, some transition stuff. We're going to talk about all of it, right? So we're going to start with this little play here. Jalen Duren actually gets the ball and brings it up the court. We have got Beef Stew filtering out to give us some spacing here. This has kind of been an interesting thing that the Pistons have been playing around with a little bit more this season, which is the Beef Stew Duren 2 big lineup. I'm actually a huge fan of it. On the season, in about 100 minutes, it's a plus 20 net rating, whereas, you know, the normal Jalen Duren on the court is like a plus 8 net rating for the Pistons. So they're playing awesome with Duren and Stewart out there in 100 minutes. So not nothing. And it's a look I really like. It gives them some spacing, especially if Stewart's shooting holds up. But love this play here. Getting some space, drives in, little turnaround. That's nice, soft touch, man. That's a really beautiful shot. Here's another nice little clip showcasing some soft touch around the rim from Duren. Pretty poor spacing here, I'd have to argue. And Dan Jenkins tries to throw a little shovel pass over here to Isaiah Stewart. Gets blocked up. Jalen Duren recovers. Puts this shot up. Nice finish around a defender on his backside, defender in front. That's not too easy to do. So, impressive soft touch from him there. This was kind of like the standout play from the game, although I got to say once Cade is back, I'd say let's maybe pull these out. But he's bringing the ball up the court. We get a nice little shimmy shake behind the back or behind the legs, little pull-up midi there. Beautiful shot, goes right through the net. Again, this guy's got genuine touch. I would not be surprised if at some point in his career, like Jalen Duren is shooting threes. And if that's not like relatively soon, he has touch. Like his hands are good, the fluidity, I like the shot. It looks good. So, 2027, look out. Here comes a three-point shooting Jalen Duren. I'm going to go ahead and quickly apologize to Shaler because, man, I have to include this one. This one's so funny to me. This one's crazy. All right, so the Pistons got this weird little, like, stagger screen thing going on, right? We got Javonte Green's going to pick and pop. Duren's going to roll here. And I like this because Pascal Siakam is like, he's contained. He's in front of him. He's defending Duren. He knows what Duren wants to do. Like, he's watching it. And guess what? just throws him out of the way and gets an absurd alley-oop dunk. Dude, it's so disrespectful to Pascal Siakam, and I feel so bad because I truly, genuinely do love Siakam, but just swim moves right past him for this crazy alley-oop. God damn, what an animal he is. We got a fun little transition play developing here. We got this kind of like drag screen action thing. Jalen Duren's just going to slip that screen, and this looks like it might be the craziest highlight of all time. Pascal Siakam is coming over to blow this up, and Dennis Jenkins does throw an insane lob here. I don't think any human is putting that in, but the way Duren just collects it midair, gets his ground flush. Just so smooth in such an athletic play right there. It's absurd. Some more nice touch, of course. Isaiah Jackson actually plays decent defense here. He's straight up vertical and just goes right over the top of him for that little short mid-range. Really like this stuff here. We've got this fun inverted kind of pick and roll action going on where Jalen Duren's the ball handler. He does this weird kind of little DHO thing, and then I love it. I love it. If he's able to do more of that stuff, especially if they like start involving Cade in like some inverted pick and roll, we're gonna have a lot of fun watching this team, man. I love how decisive Duren is in like setting a hard screen or like slipping it. Like he normally doesn't slip to just try and pick and pop. He slips with intent and purpose. I like this here. We're coming back over, slips. Nice pocket pass. Nice, beautiful finish. Oh, man. I can't speak enough about him, right? I've been doing that this whole video. We get another one. Another one. Pick and roll monster, man. I wish somebody would give me access to cleaning the glass or something so I could see some pick and roll data on this guy, because every time I watch it, I feel like it's automatic. Like there's nothing you can do about it. It's crazy. Go ahead and just look at this dude for me, right? So Duncan Robinson, we get the little three in the corner. And look, we got to rewind because we got to talk about Isaiah Jackson and him wrestling down here. Look at this. Fighting for position. They're just wrestling. And look at him go get that ball, turn around, put it right back up and in. That's what you want to see, man. Like, that's what you want to see from these younger bigs, especially like these physical bigs. Like, if you're going to get that ball, put it right back up in the basket. Put it right back up. He always does that. And then just fighting, jostling with dudes all the time. He's got to be so annoying to play against. I'm surprised Isaiah Jackson didn't get just like outright benched in this game because Rick Carlisle is a pretty strict coach. We have another nice offensive rebound from Duren here. Runs straight at that rim, just leaps over. No one puts a body on him. He's got really nice timing on that putback and just softly plops it right back down in the goal. And I've just got a couple clips of some defensive tape here. My biggest problem with Jalen Duren in the past was like the defensive stuff. Like, again, we talk about his physicality on offense. He didn't really know how to use it on defense at all. And I normally was just out of position, just not making smart plays. He would just like foul guys and do kind of silly stuff. But he's been much improved this year, and this is exemplary of that. So we get nice switch here on a Keontae George. Maybe he should have been. We could have been positioned just a little bit better, but nice switch here. Goes up with two hands, stays vertical, just snatches that ball away. Really impressive play there. One thing that I don't like to see from players all too much is like spiking or blocking a ball out of bounds, because if you just block a ball out of bounds, you did nothing. Like, you should want to retain that possession for your team. So, that shot went way up there, and that would be crazy if he could somehow like redirect that inbounds. But just swatting it inbounds, I would like to see him like attempt to just go straight up and maybe like knock it back to one of his teammates here. But still, crazy verticality to get a hand on that ball at all. One thing I don't love is that, again, like, he's very fluid, very quick, but I don't like the way he moves his feet on defense all that well. Here, he's going to give Evan Mobley some space, so Evan Mobley's going to drive, and he's just kind of stunting this. He's not angled very well to me, and then Mobley just, like, kind of drives right into him. He does stop this initial play, but then Mobley gets the ball back and he just like fouls him on the wrist. Like, I don't like that at all. Just kind of out of position, and then you just give up a weird foul after not, having much like intensity or interest in defending all that hard during that possession. But, it happens. Very similar to the last play that we just saw here. Jared Allen's going to have the ball at the top of the key. Looking for the DHL, looking for the pass. It's not there. Jared Allen drives. Really surprised he didn't get called for that initial kind of foul there where he's not really moving his feet back at all. But then gets a nice strip on this ball, I guess. But I don't like players relying on the need to strip or slap the ball out of their hands in order to get like defensive stops. It's not reliable. So I would like to see him just like move and chop his feet a little bit more. Use that fluidity you have. Just use it for defense, brother. Now, again, he's going to get the block on this possession, actually, but kind of just weird. Like, the communication seems off here to me. So we're showing up. We're definitely hedging, it looks like. And then just unsure whether there's supposed to be, like, an automatic switch here or if it's just, like, a hedge and recover or what. Vooch kind of pick and pops. And, you know, Matas gets a ton of space on Cade here. So it looks like Duren's just going to go for the switch. But then he kind of stops, or he doesn't go to cut off his driving angle. And so Matas goes up with this. He still gets blocked. So nice recovery on that. But he just seemed kind of like really out of position and that the defensive communication wasn't quite there. One reason I actually really like the prospective idea of like the Beef Stew, Jalen Duren, like 2 big lineups is because Beef Stew is like super switchable if you didn't know. You should go watch some defensive tape of him. But that will allow Duren to not be like the only big on the court. They can kind of use Isaiah Stewart as this like multi-positional defending big, especially for the guy who like sets the most screens for the other team. And he can kind of just play out of the pick and roll. And I like Duren's weak side presence or you know how his ability to get block shots is like a help defender. Here's a really nice case of that. Şengün spins, gets to the rim, but just pops up for the nice easy block. That's again just another reason like I like the idea of the Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren pairing in my head is because both of those are like super talented dudes and the others kind of shore up a little bit of what the other one is not too great at. And it gives the Pistons like a really interesting look, I think. We'll end on a little fun one here. Jalen Duren gets caught. He's going to turn this ball over, unfortunately, but nice recovery for a classic chase down block. Who doesn't love one of those? I'm a big old dummy, and I forgot to include some like passing tape. So we're just going to watch a couple of clips here. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this is something that I like the idea of Jalen Duren kind of being used as a hub. Again, we talked about like an inverted pick and roll earlier. Here's an interesting one where nice DHO, bad defense from the Pacers there. Miscommunication, obviously. Duncan Robinson getting a wide open 3. I like that. Again, the passing is never anything insane, but I do like that a lot of times he'll just keep the ball moving. He throws these nice little shovel passes. I like this here where we get this little kind of weird DHO action again, but he throws this nice little bounce, sets the screen to help give Cade some space, and then Cade makes a tough layup. I like that too, just being decisive, making like quick decisions with the ball in your hand is half of what is important about passing as a big man. Here's one last little clip that we'll do. Really like this read here, bringing the ball up the court again. Makes this nice little, weird fake spin, hezzy move on Anthony Simons, gets downhill on him, draws the help defense Luka Garza here, while my boy Isaiah Stewart floating out to the corner, brother, and then guess what? Splash Mountain, baby. I like it. So, like, that's a nice pass. That's not, that's an easy read to make. But, like, live dribble pass like that is not the easiest thing to do in the world. So really impressive and nice composure from him there. Well, I think that just about wraps it up for me here today. I hope you learned a couple things watching this video. I think I learned a couple things. One of them being that I love Detroit basketball even more than I thought I did. We were talking about it on the podcast this past week, like where we think Detroit could end up at season's end, and I have really high hopes for them. They're just like a tough-nosed team, They remind me a lot of the Rockets last season where they're just young, they're gritty, they're going to have a great defense, and they're just going to cobble together a bunch of wins, especially in the Eastern Conference right now. And I like that they're taking the chance that's been granted to them. They're off to a super hot start. I hope it continues. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you made it all the way here to the end. If you have, thank you. As always, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like. If you're new here, please follow the page. And if you would be so kind as to share this with friends, share this on social media, it doesn't matter. I appreciate any support that y'all are willing to give. But with that out of the way, I think I will catch you all in the next one. Bye-bye.